Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. There's no doubt that United States has the biggest military budget in the world, by far. By far, I think the next 10 countries together probably have the same amount or reach the same amount as the United States of America. And the next 10 countries, I think if you exclude Russia, I think they're all in the Western camp. So therefore, if you take NATO, by far dwarfs Russia's defense budget. By far. And Russia's defense budget was like 60-some billion dollars a year. And now I think they increased to 80-some billion dollars a year. United States, by comparison, has about $840 billion a year. China has about $250 or $280 billion a year, something like this. Now, NATO gave Ukraine more than 100 billion, so that's more than Russia's yearly budget, defense budget, since the war began. That's weapons and everything they need to fight those. So that's why it's NATO versus Russia, it's not Ukraine versus Russia. Is NATO using the Ukrainian nation to fight NATO's enemies in Ukraine, trying to destroy and anneal Russia and then move on towards China. Use Russia, if nailed, as an example for China to shut up. Easy? Easy. So we find here that actually this NATO with its, I don't know how many, 30 countries, how many they are. I mean, I'm including South Korea, which is not a NATO country, Australia, and other countries that send military aid, and what kind of aid they send to NATO to fight the war in Ukraine against the Russians. I'm choosing my words diligently. I'm not trying to say send them money to Ukraine to fight the Russians. No, it's NATO, Ukraine, Russia. When we find out, astonishingly, I would say astonishingly, that NATO ran out of ammunition, or at least running short of ammunition. How is that possible? How is it possible that a country like the United States of America, with a budget of $840 billion, let's say, run out of ammunition to send in Ukraine to fight the Russians with a budget of $67 billion, at least 10 times, more than 10 times bigger. And I'm not adding Great Britain, Germany, France, and other weasels that send weapons. How is that possible? I think someone is looting something somewhere. Don't you think? Because Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Rheinmetall, these guys are working 3 shifts, I'm just guessing, to produce weapons and ammunition. How is that possible? With our tax money. Got that? And if there's no tax money, with the countries borrowing money from the international banking system. Who are they? We don't know them, but we owe them. We are there. We are in debt. Our countries are in debt to this international banking system that we don't know who they are. Can you give me a name? Don't give me a Rothschild and all that. Give me more than that. Who are they? Who are owning us? You don't fucking know. Isn't that strange? And if you know, good job. Now let's see this little article coming from Sputnik. It is from today, the 14th of September 2023. Norway's armed forces chief says NATO running short of ammunition. How is that possible? Is it because of the bureaucracy in NATO? Is it because the $840 billion in the US budget is mostly in bureaucracy? Pushing papers, training, and keeping people fat in the military bases around the world? I think so. Sorry, I think so. I think the United States is very much depleted in real armed force power, which is rifles, ammunitions, missile systems, airplanes, tanks. They don't have it. They do not fucking have it. That means you and I, if you're American, I think you are very much exposed. I think if the United States is attacked today and someone really attacks real hard, in about 3 weeks is done with the United States, unless they use nuclear weapons. And if you look at the US's nuclear weapon use doctrine, they can do it preemptively. Unlike Russia, because we are good. All right? My God, it's so easy. So NATO's ammunition stockpiles are running dangerously low, with demand outstripping supply. So all these 30 countries and more, I guess, they cannot outspend or supply enough weapons for poor Ukrainians to use them and die fighting these guys' enemy? No. How is that possible? I thought Russia has rusty equipment, is a poor country, not very We're told by these guys here. Obviously that's a lie. And I'm quoting, procurement is still going slow. All the defense chiefs that I've spoken to say that the demand for new weapons surpasses production. Christoffersen told a Norwegian newspaper ahead of a top-level meeting of the bloc's top brass. NATO chiefs of the defense will gather in the Norwegian capital of Oslo on Saturday for their annual military committee conference, the newspaper said, adding that 31 commanders-in-chief from NATO countries plus current candidate Sweden will participate in the meeting. What does that tell you? That means that the military-industrial complex needs more. You got to give us more money. We're expanding the business because we fight for peace, truth, freedom, democracy, and the good. And we are the good. And they are the evil. Okay, got that? If you got that, now you can go to sleep and watch the TV, watching The View or Colbert or other idiots, okay? Go to work, pay your taxes, and most importantly, shut the f up. Not from my perspective. That's a requirement of the new citizen of Western world. That's what you need to do. If you do that, you're a good citizen. Here, take some sugar. Good job. Now go and clean your room. And come back only when I call you. Western allies began procuring weapons and ammunition into Ukraine shortly after Russia launched its military operation in the country in February 2022. The Kremlin has repeatedly warned against further escalation leading to NATO's direct involvement in a conflict. By my definition, if I would be the president of one country, the moment you send one bullet to my enemy to shoot me, you are involved, my buddy. You are involved 100%. If you send that guy water to give it to the soldiers, you are involved 100%, buddy. But the Russians know better, I guess. Anyway, my friends, here it is. How is it possible these guys run out of ammunition? Bad planning? The Russians are too good? You're too stupid? Too lazy? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.